Audio.
And
So
audio.
excited.
It's amazing.
Shocking.
Hi, Frankie.
Hi, sweet pea.
Oh, in the bedroom.
How y'all doing?
Good, thank you. How are you?
I'm excellent.
Fabulous.
Okay, full disclosure. I'm a little bit tiddly.
Oh no.
It's come from Charlotte's surprise Zoom hen party.
Oh.
And been drinking.
Not
So-
surprised.
Does this mean you're going to be extra appreciative of love poems?
Oh, I'm going to be so appreciative. I'm feeling quite emosh. Actually, I'm feeling very romantic. So I might cry
Wow.
a bit.
I like crying.
Yeah, weep for us.
Yeah. That's gonna be mostly what it is.
The ugly cry. Nice.
Oh, the ugly cry. I don't have any other. I don't understand. Right. Okay. We'll get started on the poetry in a second. What I don't understand is, you know when people cry in movies, when actors cry in movies, how do they look so beautiful?
Because they're not actually upset.
But they really are crying, right? Like they're real tears coming. It's not like fake tears that they've been squirted with by a makeup guy.
A clown costume.
How do they not do the crying thing? How do they look so beautiful?
Because it's all the emotion that makes like your face go and they don't do that. They're leaking.
I think that they're trained to have relaxed faces instead of what you do when you're crying, which is like you start smiling and you crunch up your eyes like that. That's what I do. I do ugly crying every fucking time. None of this elegant bullshit.
No.
Weeping uncontrollably, snot, scrunched up face.
Yeah. That's how you can tell that you're experiencing real emotion. Anyone who was crying prettily.
I
agree, actually. We need to rebrand ugly crying.
It's not coming from the heart, is it? If it's prettily anything.
Exactly. Like just here. That's bullshit. Cry properly. Upon which note, I will contain myself and we will begin this poetry. Nick! You're more hairless than usual.
I was shone today.
Amazing! You look incredible. Come closer. Let me see you. Bring your beautiful face close to the camera. Wow.
You missed Frankie's disclosure that she contains Prosecco.
Do you contain Prosecco, Frankie? I mean, you're just showing me Prosecco, which is not contained within you, but...
Don't make her show her the Prosecco that's inside you.
This is very much the last of the Prosecco that is not contained inside me. So
she probably wouldn't do it
the Prosecco will be contained within me by the end of this session.
Tabby, you look majestic with that backdrop.
Good. Strike
It's a
it.
pillow. I'm getting comfy.
It does look super comfy, that couch.
It looks incredible.
It really is. It's multiple generational flatmates.
Yeah.
Sitting here.
Hey, Vina. Hi, Kim. Robert looks very far away.
It's true.
Hi, sweetie.
Hello, sorry.
No, it's all right.
Yeah, I'm back to water shopping.
So, we've got some love poetry on the roster, I believe. So I have Mike, M, Bina, Ainsley, Adrada, Tabby, and Katie who have poems to read. Does anybody else have poems that they would like to read that I can add to the list? Kim, awesome.
I'll do our little one.
Oh,
Oh,
brilliant!
yay! Fabulous.
Oh, fabulous!
Do a Marge Piercy.
Yes, please do. Oh my god! This is going to be such a good session. Okay, brilliant. So, Katie, I think you've got a few, haven't you? So, would you like? Is there one that you are able to kick us off with?
Ooh. I will start us off with a little one which is nice and which I wrote in the card which I sent Bina for her wedding. It's called Carry Her Over the Water by W.H. Auden. Carry her over the water and set her down under the tree, where the culvers white all day and all night, and the winds from every quarter sing agreeably, agreeably, agreeably of love. Put a gold ring on her finger and press her close to your heart, while the fish in the lake their snapshots take, and the frog, that sanguine singer, sings agreeably, agreeably, agreeably of love. The streets shall all flock to your marriage, the houses turned round to look, the tables and chairs say suitable prayers, and the horses drawing your carriage sing agreeably, agreeably, agreeably of love.
Very cute. Very cute, cute as hell. Does anybody have a cute one that they would like to go next with? Nick and Katie, you motherfuckers.
I am just making cocktails for me and Alan, so I'm going to keep muted until that is done.
No problem, Bina.
Hey, Em.
Hey,
Hi. How are you guys doing?
I have potentially a one that I would quite like to do. So this is called True Love by Judith Viost. It is true love because I put on eyeliner and a concerto and make pungent observations about the great issues of the day, even when there's no one here but him. And because I do not resent watching the Green Bay Packer, even though I am philosophically opposed to football. And because when he is late for dinner and I know he must be either having an affair or lying dead in the middle of the street, I always hope he's dead. It's true love because if he said, quit drinking martinis, but I kept drinking them and the next morning I couldn't get out of bed, he wouldn't tell me, he told me. And because he is willing to wear unironed undershorts out of respect for the fact that I am philosophically opposed to ironing. And because if his mother was drowning and I was drowning and he had to choose one of us to save, he says he'd save me. It's true love because when he went to San business while I had to stay home with us and the exterminator and the baby who was getting the chicken pox, he understood why I hated him. And because when I said that playing the stock market was juvenile and irresponsible, and then the stock I wouldn't let him buy went up 26 points, I understood why he hated me. And because despite cigarette cough, tooth decay, acid indigestion, dandruff, and other features of married life that tend to dampen the fires of passion, we still feel something we can call true love.
Aww.
I love that.
That's super sweet.
Mike, I think you have a love poem.
Yes.
Would you like to
Thank
go
you.
next?
Just find it. Yeah, sure, yeah. Just give me a second to get it up on the phone. Okay, so this is called Love Blossomed, and I can't actually find the author, so if anyone can, that'd be awesome afterwards. I'll stick the link up on afterwards. Excuse me. Love blossomed at the intersection of lust, dreams, and desire, where the crowded, clouded skies yield to chocolate cream sunsets. Harbours can't harness the depths of passion, so pervasive you can taste it. You make me laugh. You're a sack of something else sometimes. I laugh uncontrollably at your antics, and at inappropriate chimes about the things you'd really like to say to your boss, or certain friends who might be overdoing the lip gloss, and then what types of clothing are just too close to dental floss. When you came through, everything I thought I knew was interrupted, like Trojan air by arrows. My narrow-minded vision of nuclear fission, reactions, contractions, eyeball satisfactions, it all fell by the wayside. You were bona fide, I was stupefied. Sure, you denied my request on Facebook, twice. And sure, I had to promise no expectations for our first not date, but I'd pay that price again and again. You're my striking lightning, slicing open with the dark, with luminous allure, my poetic metaphor, rhythmic waves crashing ashore. You're my 80s mixtape, every breath you take is a kiss on my list, time after time, and I'm giving the best that I've got, oh sweet child of mine. You have the strength of hurricanes with the tiger's heart, and I love that you genuinely care for your teddy bears and wear your love to impart. Oh, and live for the dessert a la carte. Because that's my sweet spot right there. You had me at chocolat. I love you more than I love chocolate chip pancakes. I love you more than you love peanut butter ice cream. Together or in tandem, I know you more. I love you more than you love horror movies. Just kidding. I know you can't stand them. I love you more than New Yorkers love a victory parade, and definitely more than New Englanders yearn for one. I love you just as much as I like you. And every day I like you more than yesterday. And I even like you more than I like to sleep diagonally in the bed. And now I love that I get to share that bed with you every day, every night, into every morning for the rest of our lives. Love blossomed at the intersection of lust, dreams, and desire, where crowded, clouded skies yield to chocolate cream sunsets. And now there's an uncontrollable fire. You've taken my world out of a daze and shaken it up with your ways. I'm thankful, I'm lucky, I'm constantly amazed at how our love blossomed.
That's so much.
Oh, wonderful.
Please find out who wrote that.
I really will try, yeah.
I really, really, really love that.
Yeah.
That was really great. Thank you. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Does anybody have one that they would particularly like to do after that?
I can't hear you, Frankie.
What's that, Charlie?
I couldn't hear you then. You said something.
Oh, am I back now?
Yes, you're fine now. I don't know what happened.
Well, Kim, as you are speaking, would you like to do?
So I actually wrote this one a while ago. I was in New Zealand, and it was to someone in Europe. So it's actually it's a love poem, but it kind of flows upon frustrations about other things as well. So it's called A Curse Upon Time Zones. Good morning, my love. You must understand, I've awoken, at least in this land, and yet late into the evening you dance, or indeed early morning if you have the chance. So while I have slumbered, a day you have toiled, and I've missed you again, and my plans have been foiled. Just whisper sweet nothings a few minutes a day, to be submerged in your presence and maybe to play. So where should I address my frustrations this time? Well, to those responsible for the Meridian timeline, representing their nations in politics and trade, this committee of men and the choice that they made. To align along an imaginary line, defining the modern world and our concept of time. They failed to see over a century apart the failure of their system regarding matters of the heart. We carefully scheduled each minute and hour with responsibilities and choices all in our power to utilize the best parts of every moment in time and enjoy our lives while still in our prime. At opposite ends of the globe you can see the problematic issue of their great strategy. When your night is my day and your day is my night time, it's hardly a globally unifying line. when during your free time I am asleep in the land of the long white cloud and plenty of sheep, and in the still mornings when I have time, you are so busy and our schedules fail to align. So I curse zero longitude and meridian prime, now feeling hardly relevant and wasting my time. And I dream of the day that slowly draws near, of being in the same time zone, or with an hour to spare.
That was lovely.
Oh, that's so gorgeous. Thank you, Kim. Thank you for sharing that. That was beautiful.
Yeah, I relate to a lot of those feelings really hard from like long distance relationships with passing down.
Yeah, for sure. I know I just did one, but I actually have one that kind of follows on thematically quite well from that. If that would be all right. It's a fairly short one. So it's an uncharacteristically sweet one by a poet called Geoffrey McDaniel, and it's called The Quiet World. In an effort to get people to look into each other's eyes more, and also to appease the muse, the government has decided to allot each person exactly 167 words per day. When the phone rings, I put it to my ear without saying hello. In the restaurant, I point at the chicken noodle soup. I am adjusting well to the new way. Late at night, I call my long-distance lover. Proudly say, I only used 59 today. I saved the rest for you. When she doesn't respond, I know she's used up all her words. So I slowly whisper, I love you, 32 1/3 times. After that, we just sit on the line and listen to each other breathe.
Oh,
That was gorgeous.
Beautiful, Frankie. Oh.
Does anybody have a one that they would particularly like to go after that, or should I pick somebody? No? Tabby, I think you said that you had one.
yeah, but it's not as sweet.
Hi.
Just a second. All right. Signal from Masha Kaliko. When the three of us crossed the road, even the traffic lights turned red. Surrounded by packs of exhaust snorting cars, I took the arm of the one who walked on my right, not the arm of the other whose ring I wore. When the four of us on the other side of intersections met, all knew. The one, the other, the silence, and I. Do you want to have it in German as well?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
All right. Signal. Als wir zu dritt die Straße überquerten, wurde sogar die Verkehrsampel rot. Umstellt von der Meute abgasschnaubender Wagen, ergriff ich den Arm des einen, der rechts von mir ging, nicht den des anderen, dessen Ring ich trug. Als wir zu viert uns jenseits der Kreuzung trafen, wussten es alle. Der eine, der andere, das Schweigen und ich. That's it.
Oh, that's gorgeous. Thank you, Tabby. Okay, so segue. Speaking of love poetry and translation, Ainsley, I think you had a Pablo Neruda that you said that you would be happy to do.
Yeah. I also, if we want, I had a short Rilke one, so we can go from German to Spanish.
Oh my God, yes.
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 So I'll do Rilke first since German. No, I won't read it in German because my German's terrible. Again and again, even though we know love's landscape, and the little churchyard with its lamenting names, and the terrible reticent gorge in which the others end, Again and again, the two of us go out together under the ancient trees, lay ourselves down again and again among the flowers, facing opposite the sky. That was Rilke.
Beautiful.
Neruda's longer. This is the 14th love sonnet from, I think it's 15 love sonnets in A Song of Despair. Every day you play with the light of the universe. Subtle visitor, you arrive in the flower and the water. You are more than this white head that I hold tightly as a cluster of fruit every day between my hands. You are like nobody since I love you. Let me spread you out among yellow garlands. Who writes your name in letters of smoke among the stars? Sorry. Who writes your name in letters of smoke among the stars of the south? Oh, let me remember you as you were before you existed. Suddenly, the wind howls and bangs at my shut window. The sky is a net crammed with shadowy fish. Here, all the winds let go sooner or later, all of them. The rain takes off her clothes. The birds go by, fleeing. The wind, I can only contend against the power of men. The storm whirls dark leaves and turns loose all the boats that were moored last night to the sky. You are here. Oh, you do not run away. You will answer me to the last cry. Cling to me as though you were frightened. Even so, at one time, a strange shadow ran through your eyes. Now, too, little one, you bring me honeysuckle. Even your breasts smell of it. While the sad wind goes slaughtering butterflies, I love you, and my happiness bites the plum of your mouth. How you must have suffered getting accustomed to me, my savage, solitary soul, my name that sends them all running. So many times we have seen the morning star burn, kissing our eyes, and over our heads the gray light unwinds in turning fans. My words rained over you, stroking you. A long time I have loved the sunned mother of pearl of your body. I go so far as to think that you own the universe. I will bring you happy flowers from the mountains, bluebells, dark hazels, and rustic baskets of kisses. I want to do with you what the spring does to cherry trees.
Oh, perfect.
Oh my God. I want to do with you what the spring does with cherry trees is just
like the best line. I also love the sad wind goes slaughtering butterflies.
It's so good. Do you know A Colour of the Sky by Tony Hoagland?
No.
That has a beautiful imagery about blossom, like kind of blossom coming off the trees. That's absolutely gorgeous. I might send that to you. That's really lovely.
Send it to me. Yeah.
So, Valerie, would you be at all interested in doing yours now?
You're muted, love.
You're muted, my darling. I can't hear you.
Thank you. Yeah, I will do a little one, but I found another one that I might read later as well, if time. So I dug into the Scottish Poetry Archive as part of my education for poetry that you guys are all bringing to me. So this one is called First Love by Diana Henry. Okay. They say I should not wait about your street, nor call upon your friends to hear of you, or go to places where by chance we'll meet, or hold your hand unless you ask me to. They tell me I should emphasize my waist and cultivate the arts that make men thirst, should learn to waken lust and yet stay chaste, and I should never say I love you first. But I would come to you clear-eyed and plain, my treasures in a kerchief wrapped. To you I'd give the first primrose, a daisy chain, a lucky stone, my heart for your tattoo. And when in time they say, we told you so, my truth I'll have, and they their status quo. That's it.
That's beautiful.
I love that one so much.
That's really gorgeous.
Yeah, I just kind of felt I can relate to that. Yeah, pretty well.
Yeah, that's very nice. That's really stunning. Also, side note, this isn't super inappropriate, but your eyes look incredible. Like, just
My eyes.
yeah, you're like the screen was lighting you up, and they look like insanely blue.
Oh, right, thanks. I feel like I've hit the age where I need to put my glasses on more, so I'm like, I actually can't see but my eyes. So there we are. But thank you. Yeah, I think I was like, Anyway, thank you.
So, and you said that you've got another one that you might like to.
Yeah, okay, I'll do that.
Yeah, fantastic.
So it's a little bit longer, and it's called The Land We Love by Will H. Ogilvy. So just a line of blue hills to remember, just a valley one fails to forget, whether bound with the gold of September or with those of midsummer set. Just a fringe of dark woodland and coppice, just a ribbon of river and stream, for a hem to the cornfields whose poppies burn soft as a rose in a dream. Just a sweep of marsh moorland and heather, just a brae where the black faces climb, just a loch where the grey gulls foregather, and the burns out of Cheviot chime. Just a glen where the wild duck and pheasant find a sheltering nook from the blast. Just a pale tower that stoops to the present with the legend and lore of the past. Just an abbey that, ruined and hoary and racked with the rain of the years, tells a mystic and marvellous story that breaks on the silence like tears. Just a fortress perhaps, or a fastness, just a bridge or a grave or a stone that has saved from time's infinite vastness. Some tale half as tall as time's own. There's a spell in this land of the marches, in this border that gave us our birth, in this spot where the heavens' wide arches spread blue o'er the best of the earth. 'Tis the shrine where our hearts keep returning, wherever our feet may be led. All our love on that altar lies burning, all our song wreaths around it are spread. So because I feel like during this situation that we're in, I'm definitely being drawn to the land more, you know, to take advantage of the time that we get to leave the house and things like that. So I've been pulled more into nature, I think. So that's why I like.
Beautiful. That's really lovely. Thank you, Valerie. Kitty, would you fancy doing yours next?
Sure. So this is Witnessing a Wedding by Marge Piercy. Slowly and slower you have learned to let yourself grow while weaving through each other in strong cloth. It is not strangeness in the mate you must fear, and not the fear that loosens us so that we lean back chilly with a sudden draught on flesh recently joined and taste again the other sharp as tin in the mouth. But familiarity we must mistrust. The word based on the family that fogs the sight and plugs the nose, fills the ears with the wax of possession, toughens the daily dead skin calloused against penetration. Never think you know finally or say, my husband likes, my wife is, without balancing in the coil of the inner ear that no one is surely anything till dead. Love without respect is cold as a boa constrictor, its caresses as choking. Celebrate your differences in bed. Like species, couples die out or evolve. Strange new beasties with strawberry hides, velvet green antlers, undulant necks, tentacles, wings, and the senses of bees. Your own changing mosaic of face. And the face of the stranger you live with, and try to love, who enters your body, like water, like pain, like food. Marge Piercy.
Yeah, I actually have a Marge Piercy poem that would be nice to maybe follow that with.
Do it.
I have a poem that was one of the poems that was a reading at my wedding, which I'm tempted to do next thematically. How would people feel if I did both? Would that be okay?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna do it. So the poem that we had at our wedding, one of the poems, was this one by Simon Armitage, and it's called Let Me Put It This Way. Let me put it this way. If you came to lay your sleeping head against my arm or sleeve, and if my arm went dead, or if I had to take my leave at midnight, I should rather cleave it from the joint or seam than make a scene or bring you round. There. How does that sound? Which I think is lovely. That's my idea of what romance is. So yeah, and so then I have another one by Marge Piercy, and then I will stop talking. So this is very thematically different. And it's called To Have Without Holding by Marge Piercy. Learning to love differently is hard. Love with the hands wide open, love with the doors banging on their hinges, the cupboard unlocked, the wind roaring and whimpering in the rooms, rustling the sheets and snapping the blinds that thwack like rubber bands in an open palm. It hurts to love wide open, stretching the muscles that feel as if they are made of wet plaster, then of blunt knives, then of sharp knives. It hurts to thwart the reflexes of grab, of clutch, to love and let go again and again. It pesters to remember the lover who is not in the bed, to hold back what is owed to the work that gutters like a candle in a cave without air, to love consciously, conscientiously, concretely, constructively. I can't do it. You say it's killing me, but you thrive. You glow on the street like a neon raspberry. You float and sail, a helium balloon, bright bachelor's button blue and bobbing on the cold and hot winds of our breath as we make and unmake in passionate diastole and systole the rhythm of our unbound bonding. To have and not to hold, to love with minimized malice, to hunger and anger, moment by moment, balanced.
Wow.
Neon raspberry.
Yeah, neon raspberry. Katie, I think you had another few. Would you like to do one or two more?
Sure. Let's go back to the 1500s.
Yes.
Then Christopher Marlowe. This is where I lose it. I put a bookmark in and everything, but there are too many bookmarks in this book.
Always an issue, especially with poetry books. I find I definitely bookmark a lot more in poetry books than in other books, and then I'm like, it's definitely in this collection.
So I'm going to read two which go together but are by different poets. And the first one is called The Passionate Shepherd to His Love. I love you, Frankie. Come lie with me and be my love, and we will all the pleasures prove that valleys, groves, hills and fields, woods or steepy mountains yields. And we will sit upon the rocks, seeing the shepherds feed their flocks by shallow rivers, to whose falls melodious birds sing madrigals. And I will make thee beds of roses and 1,000 fragrant posies, a cap of flowers, and a kirtle embroidered all with leaves of myrtle. a gown made from the finest wool, which from our pretty lambs we pull, fair lined slippers for the cold with buckles of the purest gold, a belt of straw and ivy buds with coral clasps and amber studs, and if these pleasures may thee move, come live with me and be my love. The shepherd swain shall dance and sing for thy delight each May morning. If these delights thy mind may move, then live with me and be my love. The nymphs reply to the shepherd, if all the world and love were young, and truth in every shepherd's tongue, these pretty pleasures might me move to live with thee and be like thy love. Time drives the flocks from field to fold, when rivers rage and rocks grow cold, and Philomel becometh dumb, the rest complains of cares to come. The flowers do fade, and wanton fields to wayward winter reckoning yield. A honey tongue, a heart of gall, is fancy's spring, but sorrow's fall. Thy gowns, thy shoes, thy beds of roses, thy cap, thy kirtle, and thy posies soon break, soon wither, soon forgotten, in folly ripe, in reason rotten. Thy belt of straw and ivy buds, thy coral clasps and amber studs, all these in me no means can move to come to thee and be thy love. But could youth last, and love still breathed, had joys no date, nor age no need, then these delights my mind might move to live with thee and be thy love. Such a freaking tongue twister.
So good.
Can I read another one? Which also goes with this is by John Donne, and it's called The Bait.
Oh.
And you will see why it is thematically similar. Come live with me and be my love, and we will some new pleasures prove, of golden sands and crystal brooks and silken lines and silver hooks. There will the river rustling run, warmed by thy eyes more than the sun, and there the enamoured fish will stay, begging themselves they may betray. When thou wilt swim in that live bath, each fish, which every channel hath, will amorously to thee swim, gladder to catch thee than thou him. If thou, to be so seen, be'st loath by sun or moon, thou darkest both, and if myself have leave to see, I need not their light, having thee. Let others freeze with angling reeds, and cut their legs with shells and weeds, or treacherously poor fish beset with strangling snare or windowy net. Let coarse bold hands from slimy nest the bedded fish in banks outrest, or curious traitors, sleeve silk flies, bewitch poor fish's wandering eyes. For thee, thou needst no such deceit. For thee thyself art thine own bait. That fish that is not catched thereby, alas, is wiser far than I.
So good. So good.
All those lusty fish.
I was going to say, yeah. And like, honestly, the way you read them, Katie. I did say no erotic poems this session. Brilliant, thank you.
It's such a mixture of really wholesome and quite sensual. Like,
very strongly so. Bina, I think you said that you might have some poems.
I do.
Yay!
So maybe following that, I might do Anne Hathaway first, because the Liz Berry one is excellent, but like a very different sort of much more down-to-earth vibe. So I'll start with Anne Hathaway, which is another one from the Carol Ann Duffy's World's Wife collection. And in Shakespeare's will, he left his second best bed to Anne Hathaway. So this is a poem about that. The bed we loved in was a spinning world of forests, castles, torchlight, cliff tops, seas where he would dive for pearls, My lover's words were shooting stars which fell to earth as kisses on these lips. My body now a softer rhyme to his, now echo, assonance, his touch, a verb dancing in the center of a noun. Some nights I dreamed he'd written me, the bed, a page beneath his writer's hands, romance and drama played by touch, by scent, by taste. In the other bed, our best, our guests dozed on, dribbling their prose. My living, laughing love, I hold him in the casket of my widow's head, as he held me upon that next best bed.
It's so good, but it's also giving me flashbacks to English GCSE as well, which is great and awesome at the same time.
Is that when you first came across the collection?
Yep.
I think possibly me too, actually, and it still managed to not ruin it for me, so that's like...
That's good.
Pretty good. Yeah, that's so nice. Do you want that other one?
Yeah, if you would be willing to do it.
Yeah, so this one's called Stone, and I actually was talking to Katie about love languages a couple of days ago, and like the importance of knowing the person you're with and their different sort of love languages and things like that. And it reminded me of this poem, and I was like, what's the theme on Saturday? Because I've got a poem that's about love languages, and she was like, well, it's love poems, so that's perfect. So yeah, this is another Liz Berry one, so it might be slightly Black Country, not as dialecty as the other one. It's called Stone. When you bought me a milk pan for Christmas, a woman at work said you were as romantic as a stone. Watching you that evening, I wondered what stone she had meant. A chip of car park gravel, or something fancier, like the peridot in my mother's engagement ring. My interest in you became geological. Pulling on your Wellingtons to walk the dog in the rain, you were granite, durable, funereal almost. Under bath water, you were the agate I found on Brighton Beach as a child, sleek and mottled as sealskin. At other times, you seemed a rarer gem, not emerald or topaz, nothing any other woman would wear at her throat, but plainer, more lovely, like the limestone walling caverns back home that purified the iron in blast furnaces, where keepers drip jet from their beading brows. And a man like that would never choose a rose or a diamond ring. He'd stand for hours in a shop on the coldest day, testing the unfamiliar weight of a pan in his hand, assessing its metal, imagining how the milk would taste on my tongue as it poured, steaming, from that perfect lip.
That was hot.
Oh, I really felt that. Ina, that was gorgeous.
This whole collection is fucking incredible. Like, highly recommend.
What's it called?
Black Country.
Thanks.
I think I need you to read it all to me though, Bina. I couldn't imagine it in the dialect.
There's quite a few videos of Liz Berry reading her poems, and I think that's why I now like, because that doesn't have dialect in it, and I don't know, it just doesn't work in my head in standard English, and I don't know why. It pretty much applies to every single poem in the collection. But there's so much beautiful stuff, so I'll probably keep bringing it to Storytime.
Please do, that was wonderful, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You okay, Frankie?
Oh.
I don't know why that.
Oh, it totally made me cry this morning when I reread it, so like...
Oh, God.
It's because I am here for that kind of like thoughtful knowing each other stuff and not just big nonsense romantic
Yeah.
things like diamonds and not your favorite flowers.
You know, Atlas by UA Fanthorpe.
Yes, yes, it's lovely.
Isn't it? May I read that? That lovely. Hold on. So this is in a sort of pleasing thematic continuity. The other poem that
I can't hear you, Frankie.
Oh, can you hear me now? No? No?
It's kind of on and off.
Can you hear me now?
We can always hear you when you're saying, "Can you hear me now?" But then not when you start talking, apart from that.
Okay, I'll start reading and like gesture at me frantically if I drop out again, okay? So, Atlas by UA Fanthorpe. There is a kind of love called maintenance, which stores the WD-40 and knows when to use it, which checks the insurance and doesn't forget the milkman, which remembers to plant bulbs, which answers letters, which knows the way the money goes, which deals with dentists, and road fund tax, and meeting trains, postcards to the lonely, which upholds the permanently rickety, elaborate structures of living, which is Atlas. And maintenance is the sensible side of love, which knows what time and weather are doing to my brickwork, insulates my faulty wiring, laughs at my dry, rotten jokes, remembers my need for gloss and grouting, which keeps my suspect edifice upright in the air, as Atlas did the sky.
I love it.
Beautiful. Andrada, I think you said that you had a poem that you'd written.
Yeah. Sure. So it's called To Us. To you and me on the day that we met. We barely knew each other, yet a friendship started to flower like it's always been there, waiting. Mischief, familiarity, or the calm within the storm of the too much socializing kind of insanity. I don't believe in reincarnation, but just this once, I could swear we met in a previous lifetime. To me and you, on a weekend of silliness. Friends visiting friends, drinks, 2 measure drinks, the usual. There's something about you that I can't place. I'm sure it's not your face. It's something about that feeling that we met before. But we never did. And the feeling was, I realized when leaving, that I wanted more of you. To you and me, that time when this thing started. We'd got on the internet and chatted. Oh, and behold, it's a weekend road trip with camping. It's surprise hugs, but I jump because somehow I already know your mischief and I could swear you were going to tickle me. It's cuddles and kisses and nothing ever felt this easy. It's all new and very old, a familiar discovery, a long forgotten touch, and oh my goodness, your hands are so cold! We barely knew each other, yet something continued to flower like it had always been there, waiting. To me and you, breaking the rules. We're definitely a thing, a serious thing, a we. So serious and obvious that we've been coupled and married by strange men with no teeth. We refuse the labels. They throw us into boxes of stereotypes and preconceptions of how things should be dictated by society. Ideas like the relationship escalator with its progression to an eternal plateau. Ideas like marriage for the sake of being bound together by a higher power and the law. To all this, we say nee. We don't need a decree or some divinity to validate our feelings and choices. We're two individuals, each in the other's company rejoices. And you feed me. If that's not love, I don't know what is. We make our own rules. To you and me and you, roses are reds and violets are blue. They're violet, it's in the name. You say in a different font. I swoon. I always want more of you.
Very good.
Oh.
That was fabulous. Look at that.
Thank you.
So delightful.
Should we just have every week love themed poetry week? Should we just forget about all other kinds of poetry and have love poetry every Saturday? This
I
is
mean, I literally only write love poetry right now, so.
Oh, good segue. I think you said that you had something you would like to read.
I actually have a surprise two things because I finished something like right as this was starting. Hopefully, I think it's done. So, anyway, I'm gonna read that one second though. The first one was another gift for someone that hopefully is open on my phone. And it doesn't have a name yet. I may be awful at remembering to call, but luckily she's great at remembering to listen. She hears beyond the words pouring out of my mouth to what I cannot see, but keep digging for, as if seeking a jewel in the sand, not knowing what it looks like. It could be slipping between my fingers at any moment. She can see it as if my words were still water on a summer's day, and the treasure I so desperately sought was sitting beneath the surface, sparkling in the sun within my reach, taking time to carefully guide me towards it. Upon confession of having done something, she moves beyond her upset, as if holding a dandelion, blowing seeds into the wind. She helps you believe that something good is on its way, whether in a gust of wind or a wave. If you are subtle enough to feel it, there, its push will take you in the right direction. But only if you can feel it, and only if you let it take you there. Dandelion seeds always seem to find their way back, and that's the first one. That one is yours to keep. She takes a seed and plants it for herself. She shows you how to plant ears and care for them. She watches her seeds sprout and grow and shows me how to prune the bits that no longer serve me by example on her. She tends to each seed in her garden with loving care. She shows them how to be resilient by watering them with her words and shedding sunlight when they need a boost. When she is the one with news to bear, it can be hard to see just how much tending she's done to my garden before I know the news is even there. Seemingly wild, with parts particularly tame, full of seeds that grew into each other, creating new blossoms. She taught me how to be soft and strong, how to shed old seeds as I feel myself wilting, so I can sprout and bloom again, like Gerber daisies. If you ever have the pleasure of visiting her garden, watch for the flutter of wings in the corner of your eye, on the edge of a petal or blending into the rustling of leaves. Her garden is magic, infused with belief and endless empathy and an open heart. And that one was for my mom for Mother's Day.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
And you said you had another one?
Yes. I'm going to pause for the other one, though, because there is someone who I know wanted to hear it who is not on video or sound right now. So
no problem. That's fine. I have another couple that I would like to do. I could maybe do one by Edwin Morgan, which is rather lovely. Or oh no, actually, I think. How about a classic? How about a good old classic? So this is Bright Star by Keats. Bright star, would I were steadfast as thou art, not in lone splendor hung aloft the sky and watching with eternal lids apart like nature's patient, sleepless eremite, the moving waters at their priest-like task of pure ablution round the earth's human shores, or gazing on the new soft-fallen mask of snow upon the mountains and the moors. No, yet still steadfast, still unchangeable, pillowed upon my fair love's ripening breast, to feel forever its soft fall and swell, awake forever in a sweet unrest, still to hear her tender taken breath, and so live ever, or else swoon to death. You know what he was doing, huh? Fucking Keats, man.
Love Keats, but I struggle to try and find a poem that he's done that doesn't involve like sheep a lot of the time.
I mean, he was high key into sheep, you know. That's fine. A man can love whom he wants. There's no judgment here. This is a safe space for Keats' love of sheep.
That reminded me of a very tiny poem about a star, which I could read.
Oh my god, yes, please do.
Also, it relies on me being able to find it. Too many bookmarks. Summer nights and other stars. Each night lights up its star and dances a black dance around it until the stars burn out. Then the nights split up. Some become stars, the others remain at night. Again, each night lights up its star and dances a black dance around it until the star burns out. The last night becomes both star and night. It lights itself, dances the black dance around itself. You are muted, Frankie.
You are.
I am unmuted now. Did anybody else have any more that they would like to do?
I've got a couple Valerie's reminded me of.
Ooh.
Jeremy was waving his arms and saying me.
So we've got Ainsley and Jeremy. Did you say that you had one, Sweetness?
Yes, please.
Anybody else? I'm just making a list to make sure that I get around to everyone.
I've got one, but it's very sad, so I don't want like things to finish on it.
Oh, for sure. Okay, well, does anybody have like a happy, joyful one that they feel would be a nice one to follow Lisa's sad one?
I've got a light or one of the ones.
Okay, so Lisa, how about you do your sad one, and then Ainsley, how about you do a lighter one? How would that feel?
And Em still got one to do as well.
And Jeremy's got.
Also, I think some of us could just keep going with love poems till like we all go to bed. So,
I mean, there is a certain amount of love poetry out there, and I would definitely be up for doing like love poetry part 2 at some point in the future. So yeah, don't feel that you have to like get all of your love poetry out of your system now. There will be more opportunities for love poetry. But for now, Lisa, if you would like to do yours.
Cool. Forgive me if I start crying whilst I read it. It really gets me. It's called Cross by P.K. Page. He has leaned for hours against the veranda railing, gazing the darkened garden out of mind, while she with battened hatches rides out the wind that will blow for a year or a day, there's no telling. As to why they are cross, she barely remembers now. That they are cross, she is certain. They hardly speak, feel cold and hurt and stony. For a week have without understanding behaved so, and will continue so to behave, for neither can come to that undemanded act of love, kiss the sleeping princess or sleep with the frog, and break the spell which holds them from the other. Or if one ventures towards it, the other, shy, dissembles, regrets too late the dissimulation and sits, hands slack, heart tiny, the hard solution having again passed by. Silly, the pair of them, yet they make me weep. Two on a desert island, back to back, who, while the alien world house round them black, go their own ways, fall emptily off to sleep.
God.
I know, right?
Jesus Christ. Yeah, that was absolutely amazing and devastating. Ainsley, do you have something that
can rescue us?
That can rescue us. Lisa, thank you so much for that, my love.
It's a nice little Diana Hendry one called Nasturtiums. Love should be like nasturtiums, shot through with sunshine and fire, easily available, simply exuberant. Love should be like nasturtiums, ignoring the obvious season of spring, waiting until the summer is almost over, and then going for it, rampant, running wild, catching on. Love should be like nasturtiums, able to flourish in the poorest soil, useful and beautiful, happy anywhere, enduring, common.
I
love it.
Oh,
and I had another one that Valerie's one about the land reminded me of. So it's not love poetry in the typical way, I guess, but do you still want it?
Yes, please.
I want it.
We want it.
It's called I Believed I Understood the Land by Adam Horowitz from The Soil Never Sleeps. I believed I understood the land once, long ago. A child running in his mother's footsteps who gleaned the names of birds that burst from the hedgerow, who pulled up solid fronds of fern that leaned out into the path to be a sword and a plowshare. Imagine toys that soiled his hands and greened the valley sunlight as he caught foxes unaware when they bolted home across the failing pasture spilled out below his house. I would not dare now to say I knew anything of land. It has no master, only people who strive to learn and understand the minutes of it and the hours. The earth moves faster than we can comprehend. So seek a segment, find a strand of it that you can love. Listen to the movement in one hedge, attune to it. See what it will give. Make no demand. If you've listened, you'll know we're balanced on the edge between oblivion and life, and the only charm for our salvation comes in the moments when we can pledge to do no lasting damage, cause as little harm as we can manage in field or office, city, street, or farm.
That's beautiful. That's absolutely lovely. I have one that Lisa's poem reminded me of, the bit where it was talking about kind of being like back to back in bed. Does anyone know The Hug by Tom Gunn? That's quite a lovely one. Would you fancy?
Oh, it's so good.
Yes. Okay. So in that case, Lisa, this one is for you, actually. It slightly reminds me of you, even though we aren't married, haven't been so since we were 22.
I mean, yet.
Yet. Exactly. That's the spirit. So this is The Hug by Tom Gunn. It was your birthday. We had drunk and dined half of the night with our old friend, who'd showed us in the end to a bed I reached in one drunk stride. Already I lay snug and drowsy with the wine dozed on one side. I dozed, I slept. My sleep broke on a hug. Suddenly from behind, in which the full lengths of our bodies pressed, your instep to my heel, my shoulder blades against your chest. It was not sex, but I could feel the whole strength of your body set or braced to mine, and locking me to you as if we were still 22 when our grand passion had not yet become familial. My quick sleep had deleted all of intervening time and place. I only knew the stay of your secure, firm, dry embrace.
That was lovely. Mm.
I like your background, Michael.
I tried to find if I had any nasturtiums in the house, but I just had a photo.
Was that Rory's face that I saw popping up momentarily?
It looks like a Rory.
Yeah, he's in the other room. He will be through. He was in a different camera. He was doing like a murder mystery dinner before this, where he was dressed as like an engineer from the 1920s. So we'll see what he looks like when he comes through. Oh.
To be called Cyril Slick.
Devil.
Cyril, are you there?
Hello, Cyril.
Hi, g'day.
See?
Well, I do declare Mary Poppins.
Oh no!
What, Governor?
Mute, block, mute.
All right, how about some crumpets and then we watch Countdown, innit? I don't know what a Cockney accent is.
Is that what British people are like?
I don't know what you English people say.
I don't either.
Yeah, you Ingles.
You Ingles people.
Dare you? Oh, I'm so sorry. Of course, I forgot. Kitty.
I'm Scotch.
Kitty is Scotch.
Hold on. Listen, you elements of chaos. Cyril, are you here for the duration, or are you only popping in merely, my darling?
No, I'm here now that my murder investigation is over. My name's been cleared. I'm a free man, and I would love to spend that with you.
Fantastic. Well, you are potentially just in time for M to read.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, so this, I think I just finished like right before this all started. That's fun. And I don't think it necessarily has a name yet either. Names are awkward. Anyways. Gentle, gentle. I hear so often said to small children, but so rarely displayed consistently by adults. He is the embodiment of gentleness. He displays it consistently and clearly. To dance with him is to truly settle into a moment, to release your subconscious programming, to immerse yourself for the time being in the dance, and to allow it to hold the both of you and take life. The melody stirs as you settle into the nature of knowing, as clear as the green of the leaves playing on the branches, so softly it almost tickles your ears, that you're both leaves, and you both have the power to stir the wind. There's something serene in having no need for rules or convention. Every breath drifting your way in the breeze, every moment floating wherever you may land. Every choice naturally made because it resonates deeper or creates a chance to play. It echoes like the last seconds of a song as you find your way back to earth, wrapped up in each other's arms.
Swoon, motherfucking swoon.
Anyways, that is a gift for someone. And they can reveal themselves if they want or not, but yeah.
That was so lush. That was properly lush. Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy birthday. You're believing.
Oh no, I'm doing an emotion. No. What is this human feeling called love? Mate, may I do another? May I do one more? Would that be okay?
Hey.
So I don't think I've done this one before. This is called When You Go by Edwin Morgan. When you go, if you go, and I should want to die, there's nothing I'd be saved by more than the time you fell asleep in my arms. In a trust so gentle, I let the darkening room drink up the evening, till rest or the new rain lightly roused you awake. I asked if you heard the rain in your dream, and half dreaming still, you only said, I love you.
I love that one so much.
So, would anybody else like to do another poem?
Can I please?
Yes, Jeremy, please do.
Okay, this is.
Oh, wait. Wait, stop. Unmute yourself.
Is that better?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Thank you. Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
All right, no worries. So this is by our mate Shakespeare, or William Shakespeare, to give him his full title. It's Sonnet 1/3. My mistress's eyes are nothing like the sun. Coral is far more red than her lips red. If snow be white, then her breasts are dun. If hairs be wires, black wires grow on her head. I've seen roses damasked red and white, but no such roses see I in her cheeks. And in some perfumes there is more delight than in the breath from my mistress's reeks. I love to hear her speak, yet well I know that music hath far more pleasing sound. I grant I never saw a goddess go. My mistress, she walks, when she walks, she treads on the ground. And yet, by heaven, I think my love as rare as any she belied with false compare.
Thank you, darling.
That was delightful.
Lush. Beautifully lush.
Again, it's going back to GCSE high. The only reason I know it is GCSE high school, and it haunts me to this day.
That's absolutely beautiful. Thank you, my darling. I think that there is a certain amount of covert communication being happening with a certain grubby Cockney sparrow that I think we might potentially be doing some Shakespeare also.
Furiously scrolling, looking for the scene.
Yeah, me too. 1 second, everybody.
Okay.
All right.
From is it from If I Profane?
Yeah, 1 sec. Wait.
Oh, yeah, take your time.
Fucking wait for me. I probably should have prepped this in advance.
No.
Can somebody else do a poem while Rory maybe sends me a link?
Oh, sure.
Does anybody else have a poem that they would like to bring to the table in this?
I could do a creepy core one.
Oh, yes, please. Ina?
So there's kind of two choices. One is called Long Distance and may feel kind of brutal right now, but I could follow it with a tiny one called Community, which might make us feel better.
Yes.
Or one is more classically romantic. Which do you fancy?
I mean, everyone else is muted except me, so I'm going to make the executive decision.
All of them!
I would like the first options now, and maybe we could have the more classically romantic one like later.
Whichever one gets read in that lovely Black Country accent.
Neither, although that collection has one that's made up of extracts from her grandparents' war letters, if people really want to cry.
Shit. I don't know. I don't think I can stand that. I can stand that.
Maybe later.
I am not very emotionally resilient at the moment.
Okay. I'm not sure this one's great for that either, Frankie, but we'll give it a go. Because it's called Long Distance. If I had to walk to get to you, it would take 826 hours. On bad days, I think about it. What I might do if the apocalypse comes and the planes stop flying. There's so much time to think, so much empty space wanting to be consumed, but no intimacy around to consume it. It feels like being stuck at a train station, waiting and waiting and waiting for the one with your name on it. When the moon rises on this coast, but the sun still burns shamelessly on yours, I crumble knowing even our skies are different. We've been together so long, but have we really been together if your touch has not held me long enough to imprint itself on my skin? I try my hardest to stay present, but without you here, everything at its best is only mediocre. I warned you, I've got a nicer community one to follow it.
Fucking.
When the world comes crashing at your feet, it's okay to let others help pick up the pieces. If we're present to take part in your happiness, when your circumstances are great, we are more than capable of sharing your pain. Also strong recommend. Sorry, Frankie. Should have gone with the war poems one.
We should. Jesus. Okay.
I have feelings here. Like, it's fine.
Gross.
We have. I think we have established the bit. I think we have found the bit. We're gonna do
every morning.
Gonna do the thing.
Okay.
Okay.
Ready?
I am so ready.
If I profane with my unworthiest hand this holy shrine, the gentle fine is this: my lips to blushing pilgrims ready stand to smooth that rough touch with a tender kiss.
Pilgrim, you do wrong your hand too much, which mannerly devotion shows in this. For saints have hands that pilgrims' hands do touch, and palm to palm is holy palmer's kiss.
Have not saints lips, and holy palmers too.
I pilgrim lips that they must use in prayer.
Well then, dear saint, let lips do what hands do. They pray, grant thou, lest faith turn to despair.
Saints do not move, though grant for prayer's sake.
Then move not, while my prayers of faith I take. Thus, from my lips, by yours, my sin is purged.
And have my lips the sin that they have took.
Sin from thy lips, O trespass sweetly urged, give me my sin again.
You kiss by the book.
Madam! Your mother craves a word with you. And so on and so on.
Amazing.
And scene.
I thought you said no erotic.
Thank you very much, Rory.
That was incredible.
That was so great. Oh my god. Can we do a table read of Shakespeare sometime?
Yes.
Yeah.
That'd be rad.
Like
If you're asking whether I'm interested in Shakespeare, I am. I'm sorry.
Oh my god.
I'm going to go ahead and mute myself again.
I can't believe you just made like a metrical foot joke.
It happened.
Kindly marry me at your earliest convenience.
I was reminded of another Ruby Carroll poem, if we have time for another one.
Yes,
Sure.
please. Yeah. So how about if M does theirs, and then Bina, you said that you had a more kind of classically romantic one, and then we should potentially draw this to a close, you know, pending future, like, I don't think that we are done with love poetry.
Can't we just keep going with poetry? Why do we have to stop?
Because I've drunk an entire bottle of Prosecco and I should probably go drink some water and go to bed. And that and no other reason. So, Em, would you like to do yours?
I do not want to have you to fill the empty parts of me. I want to be full on my own. I want to be so complete I could light a whole city, and then I want to have you. As the two of us combine, we'd set it on fire.
Love that one.
Wow. Wow. That's fine. I'm fine. Okay, so we are nearly officially at the end of this particular session of Poetry Saturday. Bina, would you like to close out with your final, more classically romantic one?
Yeah, this is a repeat core one called Our Souls Are Mirrors. God must have kneaded you and I from the same dough, rolled us out as one on the baking sheet, must have suddenly realized how unfair it was to put that much magic in one person, and sadly split the dough in two. How else is it when I look in the mirror, I'm looking at you. When you breathe, my own lungs fill with air. That we just met, but we have known each other our whole lives, if we were not made as one to begin with.
Oh, I love that one.
Oh, that's lovely. That was so nice because it was about love and also baking. Therefore,
two excellent things.
Therefore is real, true, pure romantic love.
I mean, that definitely ties to mine. I mean, the first one of my love poems was about romance and baking.
True. It's really like, I do love it, but it's also like totally based on an idea of love as like two people being one whole person that I like don't subscribe to in any way, but it's so beautiful, so we'll forgive it.
Poem. Right, thank you all very much for coming along. This has been fucking brilliant. Who knew there was so much great poetry about love?
Weird, huh?
Weird, so weird. We should do this again sometime.
Mm.
I was thinking for next week, we have two possibilities for a theme. One is fairies and other mythical creatures. The other is maths, physics, and space.
I have some really good space poems. I think
You
most of
have
them
a
are
great
Edwin
space
Morgan.
One.
Okay, let's do maths, physics, and space is the theme. And maybe the week after we will have fairies and other mythical beasts. How's that sound? So I will announce it closer to time, but so that y'all know, y'all poetry purists, it's going to be physics and space next week. Right, stopping the recording now.